because we have to talk about Tony La Russa and what has happened here, I might not even have time to give a shout-out to Spencer Turnbull, who threw the 5th no-hitter of the season. That's why I'm wearing the old English D. Oh, Plume.
What a day. What a day, man.
All right. Like I was telling everybody, and I want to welcome everybody to the JOMBOY Media Instagram Live. It's presented to you by Dugout Mugs. Oh, my gosh. If you were a White Sox player, they've got a day game today. Could you walk into the clubhouse in good faith and still respect your manager?
Dude, I got to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on in the clubhouse. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes in that clubhouse, but he said a lot of silly stuff lately.
But I'm just asking you. I know we're not in there. I get it. I'm asking you as a guy that got in almost 10 years of service time, based on what you've heard out of your manager's mouth. Would you have a tough time walking in there and feeling good about your team that has the best record in baseball?
I feel good about my team because I know that this is all about the players. But no, I would not feel good about my manager and what he's been saying lately. And I absolutely have to have a conversation with him. And I'm expecting some of the veterans on that team probably going to be having a conversation with Tony.
Let's go over kind of where it transpired. Yesterday afternoon, this is after our Instagram live show in which we lambasted, everybody for being upset about the situation. La Russa came out and said,
I took several steps from the dugout onto the field yelling, take, take, take. Because just the way he was set up, it looked to me like he was going to swing.
Did that change your opinion at that point?
No. First of all, it's dumb to give a take sign 3-0. Like, why? I've gone over this so much, Chris. 3-0 is the only fastball count left in the game. Granted, this is a position player pitching, so he's lobbing stuff up there. But, just because the pitcher doesn't do his job, he doesn't get to dictate how you do your job as a hitter. If you want to go up there and get you a fastball 3-0 and whack it, go ahead. Because as Adam Jones wrote on Twitter yesterday, he goes, I was just watching a bat where a guy went 3-0, took a ball right down the middle, slider 3-1, slider 3-2, sit down, see you later. Your batting average is going to skyrocket when you're attacking a hitter down the middle as opposed to going up there trying to hit sliders. Okay, that's right. They say hunt the heater, so no, it's dumb.
Okay, Tony La Russa also came out and said,
I actually apologized to the Twins. I said the message over there not acceptable, and
I called the Twins. I apologized. That's not that's tired. You don't appreciate that either.
Yeah, that's so tired. I don't know why he needed to apologize. I get it. I said it yesterday about Smalley. Obviously, the same thing about Tony La Russa. They came from a different era where things were different. And Jimmy did a good job on his breakdown. He said these guys who are supposed to be the hardest, toughest dudes are clearly showing they're very soft when their feelings get hurt very easily. So I can't believe that happened. And I shared some insight with you last night about the whole thing. I even tweeted out yesterday. I said, look, Twins don't even care about that because the couple of guys that I talked to on the team didn't care about it. And they said, we didn't even think twice about it. Turns out they obviously cared about it.
Okay. He also called Yermin Mercedes clueless and said there would be repercussions. If you're a teammate and you're hearing a guy who is grinded at 28 years old, has played on 3 independent teams, has been a Rule 5 pick, and has now become one of the best hitters we've seen in the first 6 weeks and is this amazing story and seems to have fun and such joy playing the game. If your manager calls him clueless in front of the media, do you lose respect for your guy?
Yes. I mean, look, I can point to a lot of things that Tony La Russa has done. I can say, hey, buddy, you're clueless. Don't be going out there and shouting out words when you have a history like you do, Tony. And this is the thing that we all talked about, Chris, when they made this hire. Yep. We said there's going to be a point in the season where there's going to be some unwritten rule tested, and he's going to have his team's back. And if he doesn't, it's going to be a problem. The exact same thing happened. This is what's going on right now. So I'm curious to see how they react. You saw what Tim Anderson put on his Instagram. Mm-hmm. Tim Anderson has Yermin's back more than his own manager does. That's not supposed to be how that's not supposed to be. Whatever I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say.
That's not the way it's supposed to be, is what you're
exactly.
telling me.
Thank you. I'm so upset right now.
Yeah, listen, we're all fired up because we can't. I can't understand it. Even if Tony La Russa didn't agree with Yermin Mercedes not taking a pitch, And there are people that have said, well, that's insubordination. What happens if you don't obey your boss? Have you ever blown through a sign before? Have you ever not followed a sign?
I mean, you try not to.
Okay, but it probably has happened to you or a teammate.
Sure, yes, absolutely.
Has your manager ever aired you out publicly?
No, absolutely
That's the problem.
Yes.
You know what? If you want to handle it behind closed doors and say, Yermin, that's not the way we do it here, man. I'm going to fine you or I'm going to sit you down. I don't appreciate that. But you know what? You've got to get his back. And then last night, for La Russa, after Duffy throws behind Mercedes and the umpires throw him out of the game, he sounded like he should have been wearing a Twins hat last night.
Guy threw a sinker and, it didn't look good. So I wasn't that suspicious. I'm suspicious somebody throws somebody's head. And then I'm not suspicious. So I don't have a problem with how the Twins handled that.
Oh, he was throwing a sinker. I don't really have a problem with it. It wasn't that big a deal. If I'm one of the players on the White Sox, I'm coming in there, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm slamming the door shut, and I'm going, Tony, what the fuck are you doing? And I apologize if there's young people on this Instagram feed, but that's exactly the way I would say it. I would say, listen, I respect you as a Hall of Fame manager. You have got to protect us. You sounded like you worked for the Minnesota Twins last night, not for the Chicago White Sox. And shame on you. You better get up there and apologize to everybody. And I'm sorry. I know that I've had bosses my entire career, and I probably wouldn't talk to most bosses that way, but a clubhouse is totally different than an office that I'm used to. And so if it doesn't happen, then this team, which could have a very special season, could be fractured.
100%. I hope people see that. Ownership sees that. I mean, it ain't Tony La Russa that's winning games. In fact, we've seen him lose some games, not knowing the rules. He seems to know more about the unwritten rules than the actual rules, which I find really funny. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And I will say this about Duffy. Okay, everyone's probably fired up at Duffy for throwing behind Yermin. He didn't want to throw Duffy. He didn't want to throw Yermin. Did you see his face? He was told to do that. He was told to do that, and you gotta go out there and do it for your team, I guess. He gets ejected. He's gonna get fined. That's no fun for him. The whole thing, we're talking about Tony La Russa a lot right here, and how bad he's handled the situation. The Twins handled it just as bad. Mm-hmm. What they did was turn this situation that was a nothing situation, and they looked for it to provide a spark for them. And look, I guess it worked. They came back and won the game, but you're still sitting how many games behind, and you're gonna throw out a player to use your spark. I just don't like people getting thrown at for no reason, and that was an instance where Yermin got thrown at for absolutely no reason. And if you want to be a big boy and, the Twins want to go out and start some shit, you better throw at him the first time he's up there.
Yeah.
Don't wait. If you got a message to send a fucking message. Sorry. I don't
wait. You know what? We're fired up. I need to cool down. High quality H2O, courtesy of my friends at Dugout Mugs. Dugoutmugs.com. Father's Day is fast approaching. Makes for a great gift. You get the Dugout mug. You get the wind up. You can pop open Pop's favorite bottle beverage with this, and also the knob shot as well. Dugoutmugs.com. Use the code word ROSE. You get 35% off your offer if you're one of the first 500 to act. And I know people have been doing that. They've been sending me messages. The next 500, you get 30% off, then 25% off if you're the next 500, and so on and so on. It's dugoutmugs.com. Use the code word ROSE. Go get it. Early Father's Day gift. Cheers to you, Pops. And you can get anything engraved, like the Chris Rose rotation. Those things are flying off the shelves. So now that I've had a nice, tasty beverage and have calmed down, more to this BS. There are some people that have said on my Twitter feed, this is a fireable offense for Tony La Russa. Is it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yes, I think so. That's my opinion.
But now let's start with this, though. We know it won't happen because his boss is Jerry Reinsdorf, who handpicked Tony La Russa to replace Rick Renteria, who got the White Sox to the postseason for the first time in over a decade. So we know it's not going to happen. But when we're looking at it from the outside, and you having been a major leaguer for almost a decade, and you know the inner workings of a clubhouse, and you understand the young players of today, it could go sideways fast.
he put his own player in danger by making it such a big deal. That's how I feel. Like, he made such a big deal out of it, saying, I was top.
Come on, Blue, finish that thought. Finish that thought. As Trevor is frozen in time. But listen, this is not going over in the clubhouse well. We get it. Tim Anderson came out and said something. We know that Lance Lynn, last night's pitcher, came out and said something. Plouffe's trying to reconnect, by the way, and that'll happen shortly. And then countless other ball players around baseball are saying stuff too. So we know this is not going to sit well in that clubhouse. We get it. We understand it. The question is, where do the White Sox go from here where they stop answering the questions? Because La Russa had his pregame presser. The White Sox have a day game today. I want to read you a quote. I'm willing to bet there wasn't anyone in that clubhouse that's upset that I mentioned that's not the way we compete. Okay? Listen to that again. This is a man who is not being emotional. He had a night to sleep on it. And he came out and said, I am willing to bet there wasn't anyone in that clubhouse that is upset that I mentioned that's not the way we compete. Now, come on. That is ridiculous. Oh, you're back.
I was too hot for TV, Chris.
I'm telling you, I think what happened was La Russa got inside of your phone and started playing with some digits in there. He said, I got to disconnect this guy before he gets me shit canned.
That guy uses a rotary phone. He doesn't know how to use an iPhone. Come on, man. Jeez. I don't know where I ended up. I said, yes, it's a fireable offense, but you made a good point. Ryan Zor's his guy. He's going to have him in there. But I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this. There's clubhouse dynamics that go on, and when you lose your team, that's a bad thing. Like, I'm assuming he has to address this today before the game, before a day game, and has to talk about it, because if he doesn't, it's just the elephant in the room.
Well, okay, here we go. See, you live in the real rich area, and so Wi-Fi isn't great there.
No, I really have good Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna try this one more time.
One more time.
La Russa this morning, after having a night to sleep on it, I'm willing to bet there wasn't anyone in that clubhouse that is upset that I mentioned that's not the way we compete.
Talking about his own clubhouse?
Yes.
I mean, he's wrong.
He's wrong. He has no temperature of his clubhouse. He's already had 3 guys come out and say it. He's already had 3 guys come out and say that he's been wrong. Lance Lynn, who said, listen, I came up under Tony La Russa, so I get this. He didn't agree with him.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. You know, like, this whole thing, like, hitting players. The Twins are lucky that, you know, Lance Lynn or Kopech didn't stick one in somebody one of their players' ears. That's the whole thing, man. This thing snowballs. You know, I guess Tony La Russa cares more about his team or the Twins than his own team because they didn't retaliate. But, I mean, maybe that happens. Maybe the players today take it upon themselves and say, you know what? Fuck that.
All right. We don't even have time to congratulate Spencer Turnbull enough. Awesome job, dude. 2 years ago, led the entire show in losses, and now he's throwing a no-hitter, albeit against the Seattle Mariners, who face a no-hitter, it seems like, about every 6 days. Yes, they got no-hit 13 days ago. Yes, Zach Plesac took a no-hitter into the 8th last Thursday against them. And yes, they are hitting under 200 on the entire season. I don't care about that. Spencer Turnbull, good for you. Mike Trout, it made me sad. Out 6 to 8 weeks. It just means that the best player in baseball will not see October, definitely. And I don't know what that team's going to look like when he returns to form. Also, special shout-out Nolan Arenado, who's gone deep 4 straight games, which is awesome. And Kevin Pillar.
Yeah,
you win Humanitarian of the Year award, at least in baseball. To come out a day after you got your face looking like that and to come out and say, to have such empathy for the other human being involved in this was remarkable. So I know we don't have time for everything today, Trev, but, you know, that's a guy that you know pretty well in Pilar, right? Since you guys.
Yeah, he's a Valley guy, and I thought, exactly what you said. You know, he had empathy for the pitcher. He knows it wasn't intentional, and he also knows that'll screw a pitcher up. Yeah. Pilar has been in the game a long time. You know, he's made his money. He's established. You know, Webb, not so much. You know, he's not a young guy, but he's not completely established either. And something like that, you know, that could carry on with you. He could lose confidence in the ability to throw in, and that's not good for a pitcher. So I'm glad Pilar did that. I think that just showed, you know, some feel which, we've been lacking in baseball the last couple of days. Pilar has good feel. He went out there, and not only was it courageous for him to speak on Webb like that, but also to get up in front of the media. He was banged up, man.
Dude, it was. You know what though? I think it was smart of him. And the more I think about it, I just think he went out and he said, "Listen, this is the way I look. I know I'm going to heal. I'm going to be okay. Jacob Webb has got some emotional scars he's going to have to get through in order to step back on that mound. I'll be ready to get back in the batter's box. It hurts me that I can't be there for my team, especially when it's so banged up. But I have to learn to move on." And for him to deliver the scorecards last night and get a hug from Walt Weiss, I thought that was all handled beautifully.
Yeah.
For two big-time rivals in the NL East. And in the meantime, you look in the AL Central and we're dealing with a major shit show. 30 seconds left here. How does this thing end with the White Sox, with La Russa, and with the Twins? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. I mean, I thought I had a pulse on it yesterday, man, and things went off the rails. So we'll see, man. What do you think? You think La Russa finishes the year as White Sox manager?
I do, because of who his owner is. I don't think he should. I'm just telling you, man. It was the number one thing I was worried about. I wasn't worried the game had passed him by and all that sort of stuff. I was worried how he relates because I know who he is. St. Louis is a special baseball town. The Cardinal way has been a great way for a long time. It is very rigid, very rigid. To join a personality-driven team like the White Sox, which is young, which is fun, which is a little bit all over the place, which is why we as fans kind of dig them, I thought it was going to be a tough fit. And now he has made it infinitely more difficult for the guys in that clubhouse to be who they are.
Mm-hmm. I got a guy for you that can replace him next year. Next year, Stephen Vogt, baby.
Who'd you say?
Stephen Vogt, Chris Rose rotation guest. If he doesn't want to play next year, put him right there. Put him right in the White Sox managerial seat.
Hey.
And he'll take him to the promised land.
Hey, we do that. The Stephen Vogt latest episode of the Rose Rotation is out, and I did ask him. I asked him point blank, if somebody made a managerial change in a month, would you take the job? So he had a really interesting response to it because he's made no bones about it. He wants to be a major league manager, and he is 36 years old. So go tune into that. Real quickly, what do you have going on today on JOMBOY Media?
I got nothing going on today. I think we released Talking Baseball that we recorded yesterday, so today's kind of my chill day. I'm going to go hang with my kids and try to figure out this whole situation and so we can talk about it again tomorrow because I'm sure something will happen today.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sitting in front of the TV rooting for Giolito. He's got to get right. He's on the rotation tomorrow. We did tape it before all this stuff happened, and sometimes that happens. It's just the schedule. I got to talk to him when I can. But it's he and Max Scherzer, so we're putting the finishing touches on that show. Should be really, really good. Let's all enjoy baseball. Let's enjoy Shohei Ohtani on the mound. It's not very often that the major league leader in home runs with a 2.10 ERA and like 14 Ks per nine gets to take the hill. So let's enjoy that as well. Okay.
Yeah. Let's focus on some good things.
Exactly. Oh, Longo, is that Longo in here who says get over the Mercedes thing, everyone?
Hey, we're trying to. La Russa won't let us, dude. It's not us.
I know. Exactly. If a Hall of Fame manager would stop saying stupid shit, Longo, I'd gladly move on.
Longo for commissioner, my God.
Shout out to his Giants who continue to get it done and remain in first place, even though all we seemingly talk about are the Padres and Dodgers and who's better between those two. Maybe at some point we'll get smart and wise up. So Longo, shout out to you. You guys keep doing your thing in Cincinnati today. All right? Everybody have an amazing day. Don't forget, get the early bird special for Father's Day, dugoutmugs.com. Use the code word ROSE. If you're into saving money, do it. We'll see you again on Thursday. Can't wait to see the next episode of the La Russa story. Have a great day, everybody.
Later, guys.